I wouldn't lie to you. I would not lie to you. Why would I lie to you? Take you in a garbage bag and wham at you and wham at you. You don't get to prove yourself throughout the semester. Law school is not as hard as you think.
It's worse.
Let's just get started. Hi, I am Layla. I am a 1L at FAMU Law, and I'm gonna tell you the 5 things I wish somebody would have told me prior to starting law school. Number 1, no one talks about this. No one warned me about this. This is the first time I was hearing about it as I was going into law school. The 1L curve. I am so shocked that there's not a million videos on this already, because literally I had no clue what the curve meant. I didn't know what people were talking about. I was confused. So I'm going to read y'all the definition of it, and I'm just going to elaborate because I need y'all to understand what I'm saying. The 1L curve means your grade depends on how well you perform compared to your classmates, not how well you understand the material. Professors must fit grades into a preset distribution, so only a small number of students can get A's, no matter how strong the class is. So essentially, FAMU Law, we operate on a C curve for 1L students, meaning majority of the class is gonna get a C, which sounds detrimental from the undergrad perspective, because like no one wants to get a C, everyone wants to get an A or a B. No, everyone is the most of the class is gonna get a C. A very small percentage is going to get an A. Now, one thing that they don't tell you is the difference between an A, a B, and a C. It's not going to be like an A is 90, a B is 80, and a C is 70. No. The A could be a 75%, and however many students got that, 75% and up. A B could be 73%. If everyone did that well, if everyone truly did that well in the class, the difference between an A and a B could be 1%, because it's all depending on how well the class understands the material. So your grade is based on the highest performer in the class. Now they're going to tell you it's to help you, but they don't tell you it's to help you pass. It's not to help you get an A or a B. As a matter of fact, it's so much harder to get an A or a B because of the curve. So, and with that, let me say this, with the 1L curve, everybody wants to get the highest grade. Everybody wants to get an A or a B, and then you got the people who like, all right, I just need a C, and I just need a C, and that's fine with that, because that's how I was in torts. I just needed a C, and I got it. Proudly. Anyways, so with that, the curve is set up to make sure that you're doing the work on your own. Meaning your classmates, they might want to stab you in the back because they want to have the highest grade in the class. There's only so many people who can get an A or a B. So you're asking for help from Timmy and Tom over there. And Timmy and Tom are telling you the wrong answers because they're like, I'm not gonna let you get a higher grade than me, and now I got a B because I helped you and you got the A. So it's backstabbing. People will sit up and pretend to help you just so they can get the higher level on the ladder. Luckily, that has not happened to me. Everyone that I have surrounded myself has been really positive, really helpful. We study together, we do study groups. But don't set yourself up for failure, because if you set yourself up for failure, they're gonna kick you out. And that goes to number 2. The second thing I wish I would have known in law school, you can get kicked out after the first semester if you don't have a high enough GPA. They don't tell you that. They do not tell you that. In undergrad, if you don't have a 2.0, you lose your scholarships and you on academic probation. If you don't have a certain level GPA by time you finish the first semester, they're going to academically dismiss you, and you have to wait 2 years before you can reapply for admission. Granted, I'll say this, they give you a little wiggle room. You really have to fail all of your classes to get kicked out. It's harder than you think. It really is harder than you think to fail your classes. So although there's this 1L curve, and although there's this stipulation on what you can achieve or what you have to achieve before you get kicked out, it's pretty hard to fail every single one of your class, because that means you just weren't prepared at all and you were not trying at all. As long as you can get straight C's, I think you could sprinkle a D in there if my calculations were correct. As long as you can get straight C's, they're not going to kick you out and you can come back to the next semester. So I wish somebody would have told me that. Granted, I didn't get kicked out. I did not get kicked out, because I was not going to make no video if I could not come back next semester. But since I know I can keep doing this, I decided I'm going to make this YouTube video. Number 3, law school is not as hard as you think. It's worse. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's so much worse than you think. It's so much worse than you think. However, with the right amount of drive and determination and grit, you can do it. But don't let anyone tell you law school is easy, because everybody in law school graduated with the 4.0. Everybody in law school graduated with the 3.8. Everybody in law school graduated summa cum laude, magna cum laude. Everybody in grad school and had a job at a law firm. It's not... Welcome to the big leagues. Welcome to the big leagues, okay? So with that being said, it's hard because of the amount of material that they want you to consume and then remember and apply in real life scenarios and on exams. The material itself is not rocket science. I think anyone can go to law school and understand what is being taught. It is not something that you need to know how to put together a machine and do all this for. Anyone can go to law school and understand the material. The part that makes it hard and makes it competitive is, although anyone can understand the material, it's so much being thrown at you at one time that is what makes it difficult. I promise you, it is not the material, except for civil procedure. Civil procedure, it's the material. Other than that, it's the combination of cases and case briefs and essays and this and that, and then petty assignments mixed in to confuse you. The hardest part about law school is the amount of work, but not the content itself. If you sit there and you could take the LSAT, I promise you, you can make it through law school. Because the LSAT, I'll do a whole different video on that. If you can take the LSAT, you can understand what's being taught in law school. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. So don't let people discourage you by saying it's so hard, because that's going to make you think you're not smart enough. It's not hard because of the law. It's hard because of changes in the law, and it's hard because of the amount of work that they throw at you and take you in a garbage bag and wham at you and wham at you and wham at you. That's why it's hard. Anyways, number 4. The 4th thing I wish I would have known before starting my 1L year: you get 1 grade for most of your classes. Most of your classes, the only grade that you will get is your final exam grade. And that's it. If you're lucky, they might grade your midterm. But I'll tell you this. For my torts class, our only grade that mattered was the final. We had a midterm, which was worth 10% of our grade, and the final exam was worth 90% of our grade. In civil procedure, had the most variety of grade distribution. For instance, I think we had formative assessments, which was like multiple choice questions, was 30% of our grade. The midterm was 20%, and the final was the remainder of the grade. So the final is the bulk in most of your classes. In criminal law, our only grade was the final. So with that being said, I wish someone would have told me that you don't get to prove yourself throughout the semester. You don't get to take quizzes and be like, yes, I'm finally doing something right. You don't know that you're doing something right until you take that exam and they give you the grade back in January, because that's when you get your grades back in law school. You There's no measure of success except confidence. In law school, your only measure of success is knowing that you can practice on your own and understand the material to be able to pass that exam. But the teachers are not going to give you little this and a little that to test your knowledge, because the only person that's going to test it is you. They don't want to sit up there and grade all those papers. They don't want to sit there and grade all those 65, 70 tests. Nobody's doing that. They're going to give you one grade. It's going to be an exam, a final exam, and that's that. Before I go to my last point, the exams are long, okay? My longest exam was 6 hours, but I promise you, none of those exams feel that long. They're going to be from 4 to 6 hours. They do not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go, I'm so tired. They don't feel like that at all. As a matter of fact, you're going to be on hour 3 and 58 minutes, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, where has the time went? I need more time. I wouldn't lie to you. I would not lie to you. Why would I lie to you? I'm not lying to you. I am not lying, because as much as I want to say it's a long test, no matter how long the test is, you're always going to feel like you needed more time. So they give you that. They give you that long amount of time, and you're going to sit there and be like, holy moly, guacamole. But I promise you, you're going to need it. So don't let those final exams rough you up, okay? If you are doing what you need to do the whole semester, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be okay. And now to my last point, number 5. The last thing I wish I would have known before going to law school is there is no student life. And when I say that, I mean there is no extracurriculars where you can find your people like an undergrad that allow you to bond with people over similar experiences or similar interests. Every club that we have at law school, at FAMU Law at least, every club that we have is a law-related club. So we have things like women in law, sports law, like we have those type of clubs, but there's nothing like pickleball club or things like that. So you're gonna have to create your own. It's really adulting. You're really gonna have to find your own friends who have similar hobbies with you outside of class and outside of school. Meaning you're gonna have to actually get up and put on some clothes one day and say, okay, I'm gonna go to the run club. Because if not, your whole life will be law school. Every friend that you have will be law school. Every time y'all link up, what y'all are going to talk about is law school. I promise you, you need to go out and branch off if you don't have friends already in the city with you, or you don't have friends, period. Yes, it's important to have law school friends. Don't get me wrong. I love my law school friends. But you need to have a social life outside of law school, because you want to go places. Like, there's no simulation like an undergrad. They're not going to say, hey, we have a pickleball meeting at 4 today, come on out, show you're interested. Or they're not going to say, hey, we have an anime club, we have a music club, we have a singing club, we have a plus size club, we have a petite club. Like, there's so many clubs in undergrad, and in law school it goes away. Like, you're literally going to have to get out and go within the city. Luckily, FAMU Law is in downtown Orlando, so there's no issue with that. There's always something to do. No matter what you look like, what you like, there's always something to do. Well, that completes my video. Let me know if there's any questions that you guys have. I'm considering making a part 2 because I have a list of questions that people have asked me, but I need to actually sit down and marinate on it. So if there's anything else you guys would like to know about your 1L year in law school, please just make a comment, send me a DM, do something. All right, bye.
High volume. Am I really that